Hi guys, it's me Rob from drumstheword.com and welcome to this free video drum lesson. Today I want to show you how to play a drum solo section from the song Radar Love by Golden Earring, drummed by Cesar. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his surname. This was requested on my Facebook page, so if you want to suggest your own songs or sections of songs you want me to go over in lessons, especially for this holiday period, then type in Drums to the Word into Facebook and you'll find me, or you'll find a link beneath this video. Also, beneath this video you'll find a link for this free PDF drum chart that comes with this lesson, so if you want to visit my website and have that printed out in front of you, it's going to help you with following this video lesson. So the tempo is 215 BPM, it's going by quite fast. And I've written drum solo occurs at 2:29, so this is where this beginning of this solo starts. And there's loads and loads of cool licks in this song, loads of really nice little drum fills, and this drum solo goes on for quite some time, so it was difficult to try and choose a section that I wanted to do, but I like this section, the beginning of the solo, because it has like a George of the Jungle kind of feel to it, dum 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 dum, which I quite like. So that's why I chose this particular section in this song to transcribe for you. I think it's the coolest part. So we're going to ignore the first line for now. By the way, I've written underneath that drum solo occurs at 2:29. Note all eighth notes are ever so slightly swung. So this song, the eighth notes are kind of swungy, triplety kind of feel, but at the tempo going by, it's quite hard to hear that sort of eighth note lilt. So don't worry about it too much, but you may notice, the more advanced drummers may notice that it sort of has a swing to it when you listen to the original recording, which I'll try and replicate as I speed up. So let's take a look at the second line, because the 2-bar pattern there on the second line is the pattern that gets repeated for the rest, well, for so many bars after this section. So this pattern gets repeated a few times. The first line is how it starts, but then the second line is how it sort of repeats at least for a couple more times afterwards before he goes into another section. So the second line, we've got 2 bars, and I'm going to simplify the drum beat for you to start off with. We're going to take out the hi-hat foot on beats 2 and 4, and we're going to take out all the ghost notes. They're the notes written in brackets, and just so you know, the ghost notes in this song are all going to be played with the left hand on the snare drum. So we're going to take out those ghost notes and just take a look at the skeleton rhythm, the bare rhythm itself. So the first bar, we've got this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So our right hand is travelling between the high tom and the floor tom, and the snare drum staying on the left hand staying on the snare drum on beats 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So our left hand's going to maintain a backbeat, and our right hand's going to dance around it a little bit. The second bar, I have to cough, excuse me, a little bit of spit down the wrong way. The second bar starts with a ghost note on beat 1, so we're going to ignore that. So the actual right hand comes in on the and a beat 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and. So you can see we got 2 ands and 4 ands. And then just before 4 ands, after the 3 and, we've got a bass drum coming in just before the snare drum. 3 and a 4 and. 3 and a 4 and. So that second bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and. So this stage it's nice to loop the 2 and practice it this slow to start off with, just to get your hands into the muscle memory mode. So muscle memory is where you play a pattern many, many times, and without really thinking about it, your arms start to, or your limbs start to play the pattern, because you play it so many times, you've repeated it so many times, it becomes a muscle memory. So let's loop this run a few times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And very slowly, by the way, speed up. So what I find, and you might find as well, I don't know why, is that bass drum on the of 3 sometimes gets me, sometimes takes me by surprise. You might find the same. Let's play it around a few times and listen out for those mistakes. The tempo of the song, that's sort of the tempo. That bass drum has to be really quick to get in there, and for it to feel comfortable is another thing. So you might want to leave out that bass drum note, just to make it, which is a cool pattern itself. So next let's put in the ghost notes, and what you'll see with the ghost notes is we're just filling in the gaps the left hand with the left hand. The notes that aren't played anywhere, the eighth notes that aren't played with the hands, the ghost note fills in the gap. So you can see the first bar, we got one ghost note there, 1 and 2 and 3 and. So in between, when the right hand goes down to the floor tom, 3 and 4, we get a little ghost note there, a little tap with the left hand in between, and 3 and 4 and. So these ghost notes might be a little bit advanced for you to start off with, so you might want to leave them out as well. But the second bar, 1 and 2 and. So we got this ghost note on beat 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on their own they sound a bit weird. If we loop it round a few times, then it starts to make a bit more sense. You can hear the pattern a bit better. So let's do that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. It starts to fill out the pattern a little bit and make it sound a little bit more groovy. Okay, there we go, that's the pattern. Really nice and good fun to play. The final stage is to add in the hi-hat foot on beats 2 and 4. This is a very sort of a jazzy thing to be able to do. And what I like to do is step the hi-hat. Now, I'm not very good at this, so forgive me if I can make a few mistakes, but my basic technique is the heel comes down on beat 1 and you tap the foot at the end on beats 2 and 4. It's a technique I learned to play some jazz back in the past. It's a way for my right foot to sort of, your left foot, I guess, to keep time without thinking about it. This movement keeps me going. So you can see down the bottom of the, there. You can see that's 1, 2, 3, 4, heel, foot. That's my technique. So, with going over this pattern, you've got to line up the hi-hat foots with the note. So that can be a little bit tricky as you play it slow. Weirdly, it's one of these things, if you've learnt this pattern loads of times, it's this hi-hat foot technique. When you speed it up, you won't have any problems because this goes autopilot. But when you're playing it slowly, you have to be very aware of every single note that falls exactly in place, if that makes sense. So as I play it slowly, I might make a few more mistakes, but as I speed it up, it gets easier for me. But I'm going to make a load of mistakes here, so here we go. As I said, that bass drum foot gets me every time. I'm keeping these mistakes in, mainly because I can't help it. I'm keeping them in for this video for you guys to see. You might find the same thing. But occasionally it will fit, and then I'll loop it a few times and it feels comfortable, but then the next time I try and play it, I'll lose it. So let me just loop it round and listen out for when I make a mistake. Well, I look at the camera like that usually, and then when I get it correct, which will be a little smile from me. The other thing is that with the bass drum coming down, be aware that it helps you just to get the muscle memory going, that bass drum comes in down just before beat 4, and that's where the hi-hat foot closes down, so we get. So just that bass drum comes down just before the hi-hat closes. Again, that helps you just to line up the feet a little bit better, perhaps. Oh dear. So you can see that the last 3 or 4 times there, I finally got it. But it is tricky to try and get that bass drum. Surprisingly tricky for me, actually. I'm surprised as how tricky this little drum beat is to play. You might find it really easy. So now let's go back. That's the full drum beat. Let's go back to the first line now and let's see how it starts. It's not really important to know this, but it's just cool. I thought I'd include it. So we've got this one bar, the first bar, the top of the page, starting with the snare drum and bass drum. That's the end of the previous drum fill. Something like that he plays. Then we got the hi-hat foot playing on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what we've got a little drag there on the of beat 4, a little double left ghost note before we go into the high tom pattern. But as you can see, that second bar, which is actually the first bar of the drum solo, the first time we play it, we only play 1 tom on beat 1, or Cesar only plays 1 tom on beat 1. You could start it with 2 notes, but he plays it just once. So for the first time only, we get 1, 2, and instead of 1 and 2, we get 1, 2, and 3. And that's the only difference between the second and third bar, the first line, and then the second line, which is the pattern that gets repeated. So we actually start it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4. And I can't count. Wow, that's a lot of fun. And I'm still going to be practicing this myself to try and get that more comfortable, because I think it's a cool rhythm to learn anyway, cool little solo piece. So there you go, that's the full thing, that's the full section. Like I said, that 2-bar pattern then gets repeated a few more bars. But this is a really fun pattern to like take out and learn in your own time and include in your own playing. You don't have to be able to play along to Radar Love to enjoy this. You can take it out and learn it and play it, incorporate it into your own playing is what I'm trying to say, or you could. So don't forget the free PDF you can download from my website. If you've got any questions, you can email me, rob@drumstheword.com. Don't forget also to check out my Facebook page. I've also got a Twitter account as well, which you can find. And you might want to consider signing up to become an online member at drumstheword.com. This is what I do these free video drum lessons for, to promote my business. And what I offer are hundreds of full song lessons. I teach you a song from start to finish, and you get the full drum chart, which I transcribe for you, and a video lesson for each song that you learn from start to finish. I make sure it's nice and easy, and I go through bar by bar, just like in this lesson. And you get access to all of my material. That's hundreds of full song lessons, famous songs you get to learn, just like this one. You sign up for $97 at the moment. You get a year subscription, and you get access to all of my material, including hundreds of freebies, and 3 free PDFs which I give you as well, which I've written just as a thank you for signing up. And then for the year of your subscription, you also get access to all the new material I release as well. So you can email me if you've got any questions about that as well, of course. But I hope to see you online in the members area pretty soon. Until next time, happy drumming to you.